Hi everyone, and welcome to another tutorial or colour along session for my book A Little at a Time. I know some of you have been buying it, thank you so much. It's only just properly been released this week, and yeah, so if you're seeing this on the right time, on the day that it's been released, you'll be able to get it before I've done all of the colour alongs. If not, if you're seeing this in the future, then please do buy the book. You can check down in my profile at all the other colour alongs too, so we can all join in and have this time together. I've got some nice relaxing music on. Let's go. I'm going to choose I wanted to choose one of the fairies today. The fairies in the jars. As you can see, they're very cute. The theme behind the book, the idea behind the book is that there's little projects on each page. Some are more detailed than others. I'm going to try and get that camera a little bit closer, but without trying to get the book out of the picture too much. I think I'm going to have a go at this one over here. I don't know why. I'm just particularly drawn to it today. Now, if you wanted to use markers, that's fine. Put some card underneath, then you protect the images below. It will come through to the back, which is why that's blank. Markers just do. That's just the way they are. So, we will get started. I'm going to use coloured pencils. I haven't decided which set I'm going to use for this yet. It might be that I mix up. I have a few different ones next to me that I'm perusing at the moment, trying to find out which ones I want. I think I'm going to go for my Castle Arts ones because they have such a good range of purples and pinks. So I'm going to pull out, because I do want her to have lots of purples and pinks. Sorry, I'm playing some music on YT, and it's like nature sounds, and it's I'm just going to pull out a whole variety of pinks and purples, as you can see there. You do get colouring pencils with a kit if you buy the kit from me, so you don't have to worry, and you can just use what colours are there. I mean, this is a silly amount of colours, really. Years ago, I bought the big set that they have, and it's still going because there's so many shades of different colours, but you really just don't need it all. Okay, so we do need like a nice kind of pale skin colour. I think we'll make her quite pale, so we're looking for like a peachy colour she's gonna have. And all I'm doing is using the side of my pencil and just giving her a little bit of a glow. You don't have to go in with the point because we're just doing an overall feel of there's a bit of skin there. That's a bit more yellowy than I would like. It needs to be a bit more peachy. So let's add a bit of this pink in and we'll peach her up a bit. She looks a bit poorly. So all I'm doing, as you can see, I'm just laying that colour down. I'm still just using the side of the pencil because I'm just getting a broad sense of colour. It doesn't need to be done with the point. Very often when I'm laying down a large piece of colour, there we are. So she's got a nice skin tone there. It's kind of a mixture of that yellow and the pink together, has gone down really well. So I'm happy with that. Okay, I think I want her to have like a purpley pinky ombre dress. So we're starting off with maybe the purple at the top. So I'm just going to lay down some of the colour that I want. I'm going to keep them separate from what's here, and we'll go down from purple into pink, and I'll try and blend them in afterwards. I'm going to carry on the bit of purple down her dress. And these are such beautifully drawn images that yeah, it really helps you, it guides you. So we want something that's coming into the purpley pink, not quite pink yet, but we've got a bit of pink going on. There we go. So you can see that kind of ombre colour coming through now. There we are. And we'll come in with some pinks now. Now you can do the same thing, even if you only have limited colours, you just use what you have and work your way from the darker colour to the brighter, lighter colour. Now I'm going to go in for my light pink at the bottom. Make sure I get all that dress in. So you can see there I have laid down the first layers of a little bit of an ombre dress. Can you see that? But as you can see, it's still kind of, it's not blended. So what I need to do, and what I recommend everyone gets, is, let me just find mine. You need a blending pencil, and that's all it is. You search it if you want to get one, and it will be called a blending pencil. And what it does is, if you go over the work you've done, it will push the pigment in, and it will also make the pigment more vibrant. And once you've done that, you can then see where maybe you need to go over it again. So I want to get that lighter pink I had, and I kind of want to blend in a bit more to that purpley pink because it was looking like too much of a band of colour rather than ombre. I'll come down a little bit now. You can still see my book, so I'm not too worried. The main thing is I want you to see the book, and I'll move that so you can see me as well still. I know you guys like to see our faces. So I'm just going over her dress with the purple again, where it was joining the pink, just to make sure I get that lovely ombre in. I'm bringing a little bit in at the bottom again as well, so it's almost going back to purple. Okay, you can see. So I think we'll do the wings now. What should we do for the wings? I think I still want to keep it to a similar theme. So I'm going to go for purple and pink. So we'll do the biggest parts of the wings in the purple in the middle, and then I'm going to work out towards the edges with purple. Now remember, when you do yours, do take your time. Some little hints on using pencil. Keep it sharp, keep rotating the pencil as you're colouring, and then one side of it won't go blunt. You'll just keep rotating. There you go. Now that I've done that purple that I want to do in the middle, I'm going to now come in with the pink. Again, I'm going to sharpen. And I'm going to keep rotating as I'm going around and colouring in these wings. There we go. And I'm not worrying too much about all those detailed little sections. When you're colouring, it depends on the mood. You might want to really go for it and put lots of detail in, or maybe not put any detail in. And I'm kind of going over it quickly. So what I am going to do is get like the darker pink, and I'm just going to emphasise some of the areas. It needs to be darker. Some of the areas where there is going to be a little bit of pattern on. So where there's some drawing lines there, get a slightly darker colour and just kind of go over it a bit. And what that does is make the picture pop a bit because you're creating some shadow. Because if you don't create that shadow, it will just look flat. And that's fine. It doesn't really matter. This is for your enjoyment. But I do, you know, if you do want to learn more, then learning to put your shadows in, which is what I'm doing now. I'm using a darker purple right in the centre. Learning to put your shadows in over your lights and leaving your highlights is really important. I do recommend also an electric sharpener because what that will do is you can rub off coloured pencil with that, and if you decide you've made a mistake, you can create a highlight or remove colour as you wish. So it's good for that. So I'm just coming in again, making a bit more shadow. Same with her dress. Remember to keep that pencil sharp, and I'm going to come down under her hand where there will be shadow, and I'm going to create some depth just by sharpening in. I realise I keep going off the mirror because my head's over here, sorry. Yeah, so I'm just creating that shadow under her arm. I have gone over her arm a little bit there, which is a shame, but that's okay, because I need to go and darken her up a bit as well. Her skin, she was looking a little tad ill. She looks a bit better now. I'm going to give her, what colour hair should I give her? I mean, we could go for like really fun, vibrancy, rainbow colours, couldn't we? But for me, I think that might take away from the dress and her wings. I'm just going to go for like a natural sort of blondie brown colour, and I'm not, because it's already quite well shaded, I'm not worrying about shading. I'm just adding a hint of colour to her hair. I love how it's all kind of spiraling out though. There we go. Good. I'm happy with that. That's all that matters. You need to be happy with yours, so you do it how you want to do it. And I'm going to add a little bit of that colour into her body and face, just to kind of bring it all together a little bit. Okay, so the flowers and leaves, we could do like an autumn version, we could do a summer version. It's up to you. I'm going to do nice green leaves, so we are going to stick to it being like a summer version. And I'm just going to put one layer of this green down to start with, really loosely. I'm just going on wherever the leaves are, not where there are flowers. Okay, you don't need to spend hours going over each individual leaf. The point of this book is to fit it in to your day how you want it to fit in. What I will say is that the joy of them is that if you want to spend lots and lots of time being really careful and detailed, you can. But you don't have to. You have the option. So once I've gone over everything with this single green colour, I will then come in with other varying greens as well. I just want to make sure that I get that in first. Right, I have a habit of like getting all the pencils out and putting them to the side and then not putting them away once I finish with them, because I think, oh, I might use that, and I will. So I'm going to come in now with here. I want to create some flowers that complement her colour-wise. So we're kind of creating a bit of a theme in colour. You don't want to introduce too many variations of colour because it can be a bit overwhelming to the eye if you do that. I'm going to do some purple down here. I might do that darker purple. I do recommend when you're doing this to have something nice and calm on. It does make the difference. If you've got loud, fast music on, you become more energized, but you might use your energy up when actually you need to rest. So be careful the music you choose. It does make a difference. There's a bit of her hair here still, so let's just go over some of her hair again. Let's kind of blonde it up a bit more. It's looking a bit dull. And don't forget, when we go over it with our blending pencil, it will bring the colour out. I hope you can see what I'm doing okay. I don't want it to be too low because it gets cut off from the camera. Otherwise, when it shows on TikTok or the videos, you get all the words and then it covers everything at the bottom. So I have to be very careful about that. Right, I'm going to do the same colour as her hair on this sunflower. So we really are bringing everything together, and I'm going to touch a little bit of that onto the green to yellow up some of the greens a bit. And also, as I say, it makes her kind of blend into her environment as well by bringing that in. And what I'll do now is get a nice dark green and introduce that into some places so that we have variations in green. You don't need to be detailed about it, as I've said. We've used quite yellowy greens, so now we're coming in with kind of our mid green, what we generally associate as being green. I always try to start off with like a lighter version of that colour, because we can always come in with the darker green afterwards. Literally, you can see I'm just kind of bouncing around from one leaf to the next, and look, it still looks good because the drawing is doing the work for you. You don't have to worry too much. So we could leave it at that, or we could get a really nice sky blue colour, which I am going to do, and we're just going to put some sky in the background. So what I'll do for this is try and keep my pencil on the side as much as possible, because all I want is a general spread of blue like that, just nice and loosely. I don't want to go over it in my pencil like that, because it would take forever, it would use all my pencil up, and what for? It doesn't really give us any kind of better effects. Right, I'm being a bit darker around the edges as it's going into the distance. It's like her own sky in the bottle. So we want it nice and light where she is. See if the light source is coming from this way. And then as the light source goes further away, we can then come in around the edges and be a bit darker. There we go. And I want to get another blue, so you can see the blues there that I've used, a bit dark around the edges. I'm going to get a slightly darker blue now, and I'm just going to create some shadow effects of this blue and kind of bring it into the other blue as well. I do love to have, even if I'm just working with one colour, I do like to have a lot of variation of that colour, just because it helps to make it feel a bit more real. Like anything in real life that has colour will have real variations of that colour. So that's all I'm doing, is bringing in a little bit of variation. Now I'm done really. I don't need to do much more than that. What I'm going to do is get that blending pencil now, and I'm going to push the pigment into the paper. It then crushes the pigment and makes it come out to its full vibrance. And it also means if you put more than one colour down, or shades of that colour, it will help to really blend them together and it won't seem too disjointed. So that's all I'm doing now. Obviously, if you're watching this in full length, please do feel free to fast forward me doing this to the end result. But very often when I do this, I'll think, oh, I need to do a bit more here or a bit more there. I need to add a bit more colour here. It just depends on what mood you're in. I'm in a mood where I've got a lot on today and I really want to do just a lovely colouring along session, but it doesn't need to be hyper realistic or anything. It's just for fun. So I'm quite happy with that. Just get rid of all the bits, because when you do that, it does create some dust. Okay, so then we're going to come over onto the wings and also blend all that in now, and that really does make a difference. Be careful when you're blending not to blend the dark too much into the light, otherwise you'll lose your highlighted areas. There we go, just blending in the colours we added to her skirt and her top. What I think I might do is add a little bit of brown, like a dark brown, into some of these leaves, because even leaves in the summer have areas where they're browning a little bit. So I'm just going to do that. Realise I keep moving to here, so every time I do these I like change everything, the positioning of everything, so there's no perfect way, just trying to find the way that works best for me. There we go. I'm happy with that. So we'll leave it there. I might actually just add some orange, a nice bright orange, into our sunflower centre, because we kind of left that. So just giving it a little bit of colour. Can you see? Just a little bit of an orange tinge. But everywhere else is kind of purple. We don't need it anywhere else. But I kind of like that offsets her. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Please do follow along for more of these. I'm going to work my way through the book. Some I won't do sessions on that are really simple, but the more detailed ones I will. So yeah, join along. Grab a set of pencils. If you haven't got any, you can buy the kits from me. They're in my TikTok shop as a set. You buy the book with the pencils, or you can buy the book with pens. Just depends what you prefer to use. Obviously, if you've got your own pencils and pens at home, you can just buy the book. It's all up to you. Or if you just fancy relaxing and watching me like lots of people do, then also feel free to do that as well. Just watch along. Anything else that you want to find out about me will be in my bio. Thanks so much, everyone.